Hey everybody, welcome. It's Pete, and welcome to today's best stock picks for Monday, March 30th, 2020. If you're new to the channel and you find this video helpful, please click down and subscribe. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the charts. We're going to take a look at the general market because always better to have that wind behind your back. The more money that's doing the same thing, and that might be something you want to write down, when more money's on the same page, you have better follow through because it's not one sector's strong, one sector's weak, one sector's strong, one sector's weak. When everybody's pushing the boat in the same direction, you get better follow through. The trades are easier to manage, and quite honestly, you can hold them a little bit longer. So we're going to go to the market first, and then we're going to take a look at the 4 or 5 stocks that we have on today's list. So I'm going to jump over and share the screen. And by the way, if you have any questions about any of the picks that we make, absolutely feel free to leave a comment below the video. So first thing coming into the day, obviously we know that we are in a brutal downtrend. But the interesting thing now is, despite what's going on globally right now, which is quite honestly from the news, it seems like it's getting worse. We're kind of settled into what ironically can almost be called a normal downtrend right now. You can clearly see that when you draw trends, you make sure that you go from the high or the low, in this case the high, and you don't cross through any other price action on the way down. So we kind of hit this resistance perfectly. And what's interesting about yesterday is that we had an inside day, and when I say yesterday, I'm talking about Friday. We had an inside day, so we did not make new lows, which is interesting. It was not a well-offered day, which means lower lows, lower highs. And ironically, we actually closed above the open despite how much we were actually down. So not so much a no-brainer that the market's going to go down on Monday. So that's why we're going to take a look at a list of stocks on the buy side. Now, again, as with everything, if you've been watching the Stocks for Breakfast episodes every morning, which I hope you do, they're out no later than 7:30 in the morning. You know that you want long-term order flow to be in sync with short-term order flow. So the long-term order flow right now over the last couple of not a couple of months so much, but let's just call it about 6 weeks, is down, right? So selling order flow, highly news correlated. So that's a big thing too to remember. The news can change daily, which it has been. So we want long-term order flow to be in sync with short-term order flow. So any buying opportunities that we might discuss today, they might or might not be good for you. So obviously use your own risk parameters and those kind of things. My job is to set up some strategy and some tactics, and then hopefully if they match what you like to do, you can get in there and do it. So what's interesting is tomorrow we're kind of in a consolidation breakout day. If you're a regular watcher, a regular subscriber of Stocks for Breakfast, you know that the inside candlestick is a big one. So we're in volatility breakout mode tomorrow. We're not necessarily calling direction, but we're calling an expansion of volatility. So depending on the stocks you're trading, we're looking for stocks that if the market breaks up or down, we can hold those to the close because those kind of breakouts tend to follow through. So you can see the Dow is actually, the SPY is actually in a long-term downtrend, long-term obviously relative from the time frame that we're talking about. The Dow actually did close below the open, but also an inside candle. And we'll take a look at the Qs as well. Qs also inside candle, but closed on the low. So really the close from the open in the SPY, that can generally happen from the last 15 minutes worth of buying. What we're mostly concerned with right now is the fact that we had an inside day. So inside days lead to an expansion of volatility. So we're going to take a look at some stocks that fit the criteria of stocks I'd be considering to buy today. So one of the first things you want to make sure is that you look to the left and you actually have room to go. Now, one of the good things that I really like about Citrix Systems right now is that it's showing good relative strength in spite of when the market was going down. So you can see that sold off a little bit, but recovered quickly. So it has a good multi-week relative strength compared to the market. The trade management here is going to be super interesting. So I just want to, again, get in there very quickly and show that that is the level we needed to cross. We failed, stayed below it, but now we finally got above it. We're actually 2 days above it. But something to keep in mind now is we had 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of well bid. So 4 days of well bid, you start getting up to closer to what I call a saturation point where you can continue to trade the long in that direction. But in this case here, I wouldn't be trading a higher opening. I'd wait for it to pull back. So in certain situations where it's not too far extended, when it's early in the movement, in the momentum of the move, you can buy breakouts a little more confidently. In this case here, we're in the 4th day of well bid. So there's a chance that we're going to open higher and then trade lower and then look for those shorter time frames or have a limit order below that. Maybe if we open higher and pull back to yesterday's close in that area. So that's Citrix is one of the stocks that I've been looking at. Ironically, a lot of people have been using Zoom, myself included, right now while you're online because of the situation. And ZOOM actually is a sticker symbol, which is being mistaken for this one. So for obvious reasons, this one is actually bouncing while the market is going down. Virtually everyone I know is having virtual meetings using Zoom or one of their competitors. So again, I like this one long, and you can see here, getting back, keeping with the theme of what we're looking at coming into the trading day, inside candlestick here, another inside candlestick. So that's a powerful move inside, leading to a breakout. So I do like Zoom following through. And one big thing, actually two ways, I'm going to come back to the screen really quickly here. There is two different ways to identify profit potential. Now, a lot of people use extensions, Fibonacci extensions, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to say all that kind of stuff for a reason. There's really only two ways that you can really feel super confident about where you should be booking your profits. And that's using the average true range of what the stock normally does, how many days in a row. And also look to the left. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. Look to the left and say, when this stock rallies or declines, in this case, we're looking at stocks to buy. When this stock rallies, how far does it normally go? That's what I'm going to look at. Okay, so we're going to come back to the screen, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So in this case here, you can see the last move from 104 to 164. Now that's probably an abnormal move. We're not going to say the stock normally moves $60, but let's go over here in what we might consider these last two moves. So we basically went from 70 to around 90. So that's about $20. And let's take this move right here, which is basically 87 to 104. So we're looking at about $17 to $20. So what we're going to take now is where the stock started to rally from, which was right in here. So let's just say the 140 level after this inside day. And we'd be looking for it to go up to the 156, 157 level based on what it normally does. But you can see that we've traveled a lot more recently because extreme circumstances of people have a massive demand for this right now. So you can make a case that if you're going from the 140 level, it actually almost hit the 157, the $17 level. So maybe you got $3 or $4 more dollars. So as much as I might like Zoom and it's coming out of this consolidation, you have to really say to yourself, what is the maximum this stock can move? And you have to use, even under extreme circumstances where it came from last time. So we're probably looking up in that 160 area. That will be the first place that I'd be looking at tomorrow. One stock that's kind of popular in news boards right now that I think is absolutely trendless, for lack of a better putting. I don't think it has anything obvious going on, but a lot of people seem to be trading it because of the volatility. This stock, mRNA, has not been moving. I'm staying away from it. If you want to get involved with it, that's not one that I'm going to be looking at. One that I think is pretty interesting coming into the day today is Chewy. And I'll tell you why. If you do the analysis that I do every morning and you look for significant reference points, and I always look at what price are we actually struggling with, that's kind of the price right there. It keeps getting above and failing, getting above and failing. And Friday, we actually finally got punched through there pretty nicely. Now what we need to see, as long as we stay above that price and as long as we stay above the opening price on Monday, I'm going to be looking to start to build up to a position. One other one that has been massively used recently as well is Work. Slack Technologies is a very common way for offline communication right now, which obviously is just as big as Zoom. And you can see we're having a problem with this $29 level. And also we're only recently trading the most recent momentum. So I do like Work, but I like it above 29. I don't like guessing, because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it tried to punch through 29 and couldn't. So I'm not going to be involved in this unless it closes above there for a couple of days on the daily chart. So I want to just briefly go over to the stocks that are in my list on a daily basis. And you can see every single one of them that's in my universe actually closed negative. I'm just going to run through really quick to see if there's anything that excites me on the long side as a stock to buy. Micron, I do like the gap in Micron and the fact that it held. But again, it's in a bearish momentum right now. So despite the gap, I'm not going to be looking to trade that one tomorrow. And I think that's kind of it. I think that's basically what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. We called out a few right there. Hopefully those stocks to buy will give you some opportunity. Those are for Monday, March 30th, 2020. I don't know why I keep forgetting the date. Days are blending in, like I'm sure like everybody else, just staying from home every day. A big key to these videos, if you happen to have a stock that I don't call out that you think might be an opportunity that you'd like for me to review in another video, absolutely leave a comment, and I'll answer you back. You'll probably get a private message or an email that says that your comment was answered, and you'll see it in the next video. So have a great day, everybody. Be safe. I hope those stock picks help you out in the near future. Have a great day.